Hello everyone. In this video, we will teach you a new tool which is Stack Query or React Query tool. This tool is used it is used for pitching data and caching the data. Now let's move. Okay, what is this? Stack Query, it is a powerful asynchronous state management. Look at this, we have an underline down from this page. Praise. It means asynchronous state management. One we have in client-side state management, which is Redux, MobX, that we are using for state management. But whenever we come to the server side and whenever we want to fetch the data, manipulate the data, so for that we are using other tools like React Query tool. In the Redux toolkit, we are using RTK Query, and Redux we use Async Tank. But this RTK React Query tool, this is a rich feature tool. It has a lot of features to use, and it will help us just to fetch the data without any error. It means it will handle the error for us, the loading for us, whatever we want. Instead of writing manually, it will give us a lot of features. We will explore them right now step by step. Okay, it will help us how to pitch the data easily and how to do means to keep ourselves from writing more codes. So let's move. Okay, first of all, we will move to the docs and we will explore it through documents. Look at this area. It means it makes fetching, caching, synchronizing, and updating server state in your web application. I will move to what is the task of this tool. Okay, let's come here down. Once you grasp the nature of server state in your application, even more challenge will arise as you go. For example, caching the data. This is the first challenge. The React query will help us to solve this problem. Dedoping multiple requests for the same data into a single request. It means multiple requests for the same data into a single request. Updating out of date data in the background. Okay, to update, this is another. Okay, to update the data. For example, the data is out of date. Knowing when the data is out of date. When data is out of date. Reflecting updates to data as quickly as possible. Reflect whenever you manipulate the data, reflect that quickly. Performance optimization like pagination, lazy loading of the data. Managing memory and garbage collection of server state. Okay, server state, memory managing, and garbage collection. Memoizing query results with structure sharing. So these are the problems with the server side that we have, and the React query will help us just to remove all these, and it will provide us these features to do it easily. Okay, so it will help us to fetch data fast, cache the data, update the data, and reflect the data, and also remove the garbage collection and managing the memory. All these things it will help with us. Now let's start it. Okay, let's get started. First of all, we will move to the installation tab. How to install this React query. And this is this command. Okay, npm I stack react query. Before, in the older version, we were using just react query. Now it has updated to stack / react query. By using this command, we will install it. Come here to the React app. This is a React app. So to install it, just move to the terminal, and I will delete this one. Just here, you will just run this command. Okay, npm I stack react query. So it will install it. Also install the React router DOM, which we will be using for routing. So let's come here to the package.js, and I have installed these two packages. Let's check it. React router DOM, this one, and also the stack react query. Look at this one. So after installing it, now let's use it. How to use it? The first thing through this React query, that this is used for fetching of the data. We will fetch data from an API. We will use this mock API. Just come here to the home tab. Whenever you open mock api.io, so you will create your account. After creating your account, you will able to create projects. I have created a CRUD project. By pressing this plus button, you will be able to create a new project. Let's move to this CRUD project. After coming to the CRUD, we have this data. Press this data. So here you can add the data. This is our data, okay, that we have. These records we have. So if you would like to remove, for example, these records, here we had a name. I will remove these a few records. Okay, just come here. We'll remove these records. Update it. Let's remove this, update it. That is updating. The data has been updated. We have 3 records inside that. And let's press this URL. So it will open us our data URL. Okay, let's check it. It is opening our URL. We will see now our data on the browser. So this is our data. Okay, we have these records. We will read these records. The first operation is that we will perform through React query, that is to read this data. So let's move to our React app, and we didn't run it. I just come here and I will type npm run div. It will run our React app. Just come here and refresh it. So after refreshing, it is a clean without any code. We have this React app. Now we will start our coding. Come here to the object. First of all, come here to the documents, okay, documentation, and come here to the quick start. What we will do, queries, we will do these tasks: queries, mutation, and query invalidation. Queries, it means that whenever we are pitching the data; mutations, manipulating of the data; and invalidation, to repitch automatically. Just first of all, we will just do queries. We will explore it to just fetch the data from API. Just let's first of all copy this import. It means that we will import these things. I will show to you, don't worry. I'm here to the main, and here I will import it. What we will import, we will just import just these two, query client and query client provider. We will wrap this up through this provider, and we will provide this query client. Let's create an instance of this query client. Come here to the docs, we will create an instance of that query client. So after creating an instance, now we will use it. So to use it, let's write here query client provider, and inside this we will have this up. Let's move it up, and also we will provide to this provider client. Client is equal to with query client that we have created an instance. So this is how we can do it. It is the first step. Okay, just wrap your app through this provider and provide the query client. Create an instance of that. Now let's create, come here to the app.jsx, and the app.jsx I will implement React Autodom first of all. Okay, it's best to implement it at the start. Browser router from React Autodom, routes and route. Just come here down. Here we will implement it, browser router, and inside this we will have routes. Inside this route, the first one is for our main page. In the main page we will have, let's create a folder first of all, components. Inside this we will have users page, JSX RAFCE, generate the code. So this is our home page, this users. Here we will display the list of users. Let's, in this route we will just write path is equal to slash to home page element. It means we will import the users. This one that has been imported, we will import that users, and we will display at the home page. Now let's come here to the users, okay, to the user page. Here we will implement the logic to fetch data from our API. So to fetch the data for that, just come here down. What we will do, first of all, we will import this use query, this hook. Let's import it. Just come here down, use query. After importing this use query, now we will use it. So to use it, for that, just come here down. Come here down. Yeah, now we will use it. So to use it, what we will write, we will create an object of that. Just come here. We will just come here down, and here, for example, const, we will distract it. Okay, we will distract it is equal to use query hook, and we will create an object inside this. Inside this object, first of all, we will define query key. Okay, what is the query key? This is a unique key which will be attached with the cache data. It means, for example, we have different query keys. For example, you have posts, you have users, employees, and other data. You should have a unique key for every data. Right now, we would like to pitch the users. So this unique key, this query key will be for users. So for that, we will just assign a name here. Whatever name you assign, just assign a name here. This is a string. I assigned user. This query is per users to cache the data. And after that, query function, query fn query function. This is the query function that we will call. So we can create a separate function, or we can automatically just create function here. Here we can create the function like this, okay, a row function. Or we can just create a separate function and call that here. No problem. However you do, so you can do it, okay. But I will just write the code here inside this function, this arrow function. So now what we will do, we will use fetch API to just fetch API to fetch data from our API. So let's make this function async, and here I will write await a fetch API. Here we will provide our URL. So let's copy our URL. This is our URL that we will use to fetch records. Paste it here. So what it will do, const, it will give us the response is equal to with this. So it will fetch the records and it will store inside response. And we will just now let's return response.json. We will change this data to the JSON format. And now here down from this, here what we will distract from this use query hook, we will distract data. First of all, it will provide us data is loading if it was in loading stage, is error if there was an error. It will provide other options also, but we will use these two. We can also read the error, okay, the error from this if there was any error. So let's do it, okay. If it was in a loading stage, so we will display a message that it is loading. So let's do it. First of all, if is loading, so what we will do, we will just return, for example, h2 tag loading like this. Save it. That is okay. Now let's check it. First of all, just come here to the our app, and we have imported, yeah, user, we have imported that. Let's refresh it. See, loading, it is in loading stage. Users, I have just displayed the users. Now what we will do, if there was any error, we will handle the error. If you are using Axios for pitching the data, so it will, you don't need this code. If you are using pitch API, so then you need to write this code, okay. I will just write that code. If not response dot okay, if the response was not okay, if it means there was an error inside this pitching this API. So what we will do, we will just throw an error, throw new error. For example, that is like something went wrong, something went wrong. We will just throw this error, and now here we will print if there was any error. If is error, if there was an error, so what we will do, we will print the error. What is the error? So let's write return h2 error, and to display the error message, we will use error that message like this. Let's save it. Now let's move. Just come here to the browser and let's refresh it. Loading. Let's change now the URL, okay. Let's, for example, we would like to make it like remove the R, okay. After removing R, save it and come here. Let's refresh it now. What happened? See, loading, it is loading. It will load for a long time, for a few seconds. Let's wait for it until it displays as the error. See, the error has displayed to us something went wrong. Why it loaded for a few seconds? The reason for that is there is another concept inside this React query, which is retrieves. It retrieves again and again. Just come here. I will show to you that, okay. Come here to the inspects, network, and inside the network, now look at here now, okay. Let's refresh it now. See, the first time uses, again request, for the fourth time it will display as the error. Uses, so now it will display as the error. Why it do like this? It means that it retrieves. For example, for the first time it requested, there was an error, it requested again, and requested again. After that, it displayed as the error message. So it is retrieves concept inside React query. Let's close this and just come here. We will just make it users. So after that, it will give us the data. So let's assign a name to this data, alias name. Okay, that is, for example, users. Now we will use users to display the records. Now let's display the records. Come here to this users and we will display the record. So to display the records, we will write users dot map, and inside this we will get user, and here we will just print the data. Let's assign a key user dot id, and let's print h for example 4 user dot name. We have two properties, name and email, and also email. Let's just design it. First of all, I will print the data. Okay, just come here to the browser. Let's check it. We have the data or not loading. See, we have these records. Okay, now let's design it. Okay, so to design it, I will change this to, let's make it p tag. This one also p tag. So to design it, let's assign a class name to this container and a class name to this one. Class name container user view, like this one. Okay, let's just add some css code to this style.css, for example, and I will just write that container. I will just add to the container display lex dot user div a border, for example 1 pixel solid black, padding 5 pixel, margin 5 pixel, padding 10 pixel. Let's save it now and let's import this inside this user. Import dot slash style dot css. Let's check it now. Let's come here. See, we have these records. So our records looks like this. It was how to pitch the data. Okay, it was all about to pitch the data. We have used useQuery hook, and we have all these things is loading as error, the error, and we displayed everything. Now the second concept is to create a new record. So to create a new record, for that, just come here, and here we will have a button. Instead of button, we will have a link. Okay, we will use React Outer DOM link to move to another page to create to have a forum, and by submitting that forum, we will create a new record. So just come here, and we will have link. This is provided by React Outer DOM. Look at this. This is imported from React Outer DOM, and we will write here add user, and let's add here 2 is equal to 2 property, which is /create. We will move to create route. Let's add a class name button. Let's design it a little bit. Dot button. So I have added this code, CSS code, and it looks like this. This is a button. Now whenever we press this, we will create a route. Okay, for this /create. Come here to the app.jsx, and we will create for /create. And here we will have a element create user. Let's create that element. Or add user.jsx. Let's import it now in the app.jsx. Instead of this, create user. Let's enter. So that has imported create user. Now let's come here and press add user. See, we came to the create user. So after coming here, now we will create a forum. Just come here to the create user, and we will create a forum. Inside this forum, we will have 2 input fields, which is for text and placeholder, enter name. The second one for email. We will change this to email. Okay, but I will leave like this, and here we will have a button. By pressing this button, we will add user. Last name like form. Let's come margin top, for example, 50 pixel, right 0, left bottom 0, and left pixel. Make it also pixel. Come here, so it looks like this. Let's add here, to the get user form here. So this is our form. Now whenever we enter name and email, by pressing this add button, we will be able to insert a new record. So to insert a new record, or that before that I will show you another concept. Okay, just come here to the inspect, come here to the network. We're coming to the network. Let's come here, and here I will refresh it. So after refreshing, we have a user request. Okay, we have a request to the user. Let's now press this add user. Let's go back. After going back again, we have a request to the user. It means it will fetch the data again. Again, it is fetching the records. Okay, if we, for example, click on this one and open a new page and come back, it will again request. So it is also a problem because it should not request. We should cache the data, and we should not request it again and again. So for that we have the problem. Okay, we have the solution. We will just explore it later. For that we have still time option that we will use later. Still time. Okay, just remember it, we will use it later. So now let's create a user. So to create a user, for that we just come here to the documentation, and first of all we will just import this use mutation, this hook. Before we used useQuery hook, now we will use mutation hook. So just come here, the use mutation hook that has been imported. Use mutation hook. Now we will use mutation hook. So to use this one, just come here and we will just create an instance of that use mutation f function. Just come here down, const mutation is equal to use mutation. Inside that mutation function, this one, now we will assign a function to this. We can assign, just call another, for example, add user. If you have a function outside from this box, you can call that function. If you don't have, just create a function here, a row function. I will create it here. Okay, and inside this function, what I will do now, I will use again the fetch API to insert a record. So for that, let's use it. So let's just make it asynchronous function, async, and down here I will use await fetch. Let's copy the URL. We will use this URL, copy this URL and paste it here. After pasting it, now we will just pass the options, which is method is post, the second option headers, and here we will have content type, which is application / JSON. And after that we have body. To the body, now we will pass the data. So which data we should pass? So for that, whenever we write something in these input fields, we should store them in a variable. So for that we will create a state variable, const user set user is equal to use state variable, use state hook. This is an object with us. We have name, default value empty string, and email, default value empty string. Now let's update this object. Whenever we write something in this input field, we will store that in name. Whenever we write something in this input field, the second one, we will store that inside this email. So for that, just come here. On change event, we will call on change event, and here we will update our object. We'll create an arrow function, and we will call set user method, And inside that we will create an object. We will just use spread operator user. It means the previous data of user, and just update the name. It means just update the name, e.target dot value. So it will assign whatever we are writing input field to this name variable. Let's copy this function and paste it in the email also. And here we will update just the email. Whenever we press this add button, so we will call a function here on submit. Okay, we will just create on submit event, and we will call here handle submit. Let's create this handle submit function. Const handle submit function. Prevent default. It means prevent the default submission. Now what we will do, now we will call, we will use here mutation function. We will use this mutation to call this function. Okay, to call this function. How we can do it? So for that, just come here. In this function we will get a user request. Whenever we pass this data and we store that, we will let's call it. Okay, we will just write like this, mutation dot mutate, and we will pass our user to this function. So after passing this user object here to mutate, here we will get that user, and let's assign that to body user. It's okay, let's save it. Everything is okay. Method post user. Let's try it. Okay, let's check it now. Just come here and here to the browser. Right now we have just 3 records. Let's refresh it. Loading. Sorry, we should move to the add user, and we should add a new record. Say John. And something like it. Let's press add button. So after pressing the add button, we should also use the navigate. Okay, let's create an instance of navigate. Const navigate is equal to use navigate hook. This is also provided by React Autodom. So let's use it whenever we unsuccess. Okay, it means let's add here this mutation provide us other options also, like we can use the after this function we can use here unsuccess mutation dot, sorry, we should just simply write unsuccess. What we can do, we will just call navigate, and we will move to slash homepage. Let's save it. Let's come here, and let's first of all refresh our data here. Here we will refresh it. We have 3 records. We had 3 records before. The new record has been inserted or not. No, the record has not been inserted. Let's check it. Come to the console. Let's move to the console. It says resources. Let's refresh it. Add user, and here come add button. So it says post. It means that we paste with an error, mutation fn, await and execute, async, handle submit. 400 bad request. Let's check it. Let's check where is the error. Forum on submit, handle submit, that is okay. Prevent default mutation dot mutate user name email. So we should change this, and we should pass JSON format data. So for that we should write JSON dot stringify user. Save it. Now let's check it. Just come here and let's press add button. Let's press add button. So by pressing add button, we come directly to the new page and let's close it. Okay. We have two records. I press twice the button. Let's add a new record. Wall. Wall. Let's press now add button. See, a new record has been added automatically here. Okay, this is a new record that we have. Now let's move to this option of stale time. Okay, stale time. So for that, I showed you before that we faced with an error. Let's come here to the network tab. That whenever, for example, refresh this data, we have requested to the users and we pitch data. Okay, and whenever we press this add button, add user, and come back again, it requests to the users and it fetch the data. So it is not a good practice. So for just removing this back, so for that we will use tail time concept, which is provided by React query. By default, the stale time is 0. It means it will whenever you click on, for example, just come here to the browser. Whenever you click on your tab or reconnect with the internet or any other, okay, what it will do, it will request in the background. Okay, it will request to the data in the background because the stale time is 0. But if we specify the stale time, so it will not request to that query until that time. For example, we set the stale time 10 seconds. Just come here to the mutation. For example, come here to the users and we set stale time here. Okay, this is the query function and here we set that. Okay, stale time, for example, we set that 5000. It means it is in millisecond for 5 seconds. What it will do before, whenever we were doing, just come here, before what we were happening for the first time, whenever we were refreshing the page, it requested and we were clicking add user. When we pressing back button, again it was requesting. Okay, so now what it should do, it should not request again. Okay, for 5 seconds. For 5 seconds, it should not request again. So we have saved that stale time 5000. That is okay. Just come here. Let's bring it here. Let's refresh it. So after refreshing, add user, come back. In 5 seconds, see no request has happened. Before, whenever we were coming back, so here a new request were to the users. But now there is no request in 5 seconds. So the data is cached. So it was the stale time, the usage of the stale time. If you would like to just use the stale time for all queries, we use this stale time just per user query. But if you would like to use it for all queries, how many queries you have, then you should sit here, come here to the app.jsx, to the main.jsx. Here inside this query client, you should default options, default queries. Here you should default queries, I think. Okay, how was that? So we will just use like this. Okay, default options, queries, stale time 5000. For example, we can make it 10,000, 10 seconds. For 10 seconds, it will just keep that. Okay, just come here, the browser, refresh it, user request, come here to the user, come here back, no request, come here, change it, come here back, no request. After 10 seconds, it will request again. Now let's wait for 10 seconds. Come here, 10 seconds has completed, it requested again. If we just active our tab, again it will request. Also if we reconnect, so it will request again. That's how we can use the stale time. Now just come here to the query invalidations. So the query invalidation, it means to become stale before the pitched again. It means to repitch the data. Whenever, for example, a user just update the data or add a new request, so what we will do, first of all, we will stale data, it means cache data in the browser, then we will pitch again. Okay, first we will show display to the user, then we will pitch. And also query invalidation means to repitch the data. To repitch the data for main value. Okay, sometimes we need to repitch the data. For example, whenever we add a new record here, just come here to the create user. Whenever we add a new record and we want to repitch the data, In some cases we need, so let's do it manually. Okay, for that what we need, first of all, a query invalidator. We will just go back. In this example, we should just import use query client. First of all, we will import this one, use query client. After importing that, then we will use it. Come here down, query client. Use query client. Yeah, let's do it. Copy this one and just come here and import it here. Use mutation, paste it, use, and just come here, create an instance of that. Const query client is equal to use query client. Now we will use query client. So to use it, just come here to the docs, and here on success we will like this one. Let's copy this line, and come here. When you are on success, what we will do, first of all we will repitch, then we will move to the home page. Okay, and here we will just write our query key. What was our query key? That was user. Okay, let's check it. Our query key, that was user. So we will just try to specify here the user. So what it will do, it will just pitch the data again manually. Just come here and refresh it. Add user, new record, new at gmail.com. Add. So it will first of all pitch the records, then it will display to us like this. Okay, new record. So it was invalidation. So you can read the docs more and explore it. Okay, how it works and where to use it and the usage of that. So it was all about a short tutorial about the React query. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you like this video, so don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.